Welcome to this presentation. In this video, I'm going to share with you some interesting facts of traveling wave tube. The traveling wave tube is an amplifier which makes use of a distributed interaction between electron beam and a traveling wave. The traveling wave tube is an O-type parallel field linear beam device, but it differs from the klystron in that the RF field and the electron beam interact with each other over the entire length of the active region instead of only at the cavity gates. So, although TWTs exist that use resonant cavities, most TWTs are non-resonant devices and hence have wider bandwidth than klystrons. So, a traveling wave tube is a high power amplifier used for the amplification of microwave signals up to a wide range. It's a special type of vacuum tube that offers an operating frequency ranging from 300 MHz to 50 GHz. So they are of non-resonant type, as I said earlier, that offer continuous interaction of applied RF field with electron beam over the entire length of the tube. So due to this reason, it provides a wider operating bandwidth. So traveling wave tubes are abbreviated as TWT. It is majorly used in the amplification of RF signals. Basically, a TWT is nothing but an elongated vacuum tube that allows the movement of the electron beam inside it by the action of the applied RF input. The movement of an electron inside the tube permits the amplification of applied RF input. As it offers amplification to a wide range of frequency, thus is considered more advantageous for microwave applications than other tube. It offers average power gain of around 60 dB. The output power lies in the range of few watts to several megawatts. A traveling wave tube is basically of two types. One is helix type and the other is coupled cavity type. This diagram shows the basic structure of the traveling wave tube. The electron gun is the same as in the klystron, but the RF interaction region differs considerably. Its principal feature is a slow wave structure. The goal in this design is to slow down the RF wave, which propagates at the speed of the light to a phase velocity close to the velocity of the electron beam. So under this condition, direct interaction occurs between the RF wave and the electron beam wave. And the synchronized velocities allow both velocity and density modulation of the electron beam. So as we can see that the helical traveling wave tube consists of an electron gun and a slow wave structure. The electron gun produces narrow beam of electron. A focusing plate is used that focuses the electron beam inside the tube. A positive potential is provided to the coil with respect to the cathode terminal, while the collector is more positive than the coil. In order to restrict beam spreading inside the tube, a DC magnetic field is applied between the traveling path by the help of magnets. So the signal which is needed to be amplified is provided at one end of the helix present adjacent to the electron gun, while the amplified signal is achieved at the opposite end of the helix. So in the figure, we can clearly see that the attenuator present along both sides of the traveling wave tube. So this is so because traveling wave amplifiers are high gain devices. So in case of poor load matching conditions, oscillations get built up inside the tube due to reflections. Thus, in order to restrict the generation of oscillations inside the tube, attenuators are used. Attenuators are basically formed by providing a metallic coating over the surface of the glass tube. Aquadag and Kanthal are majorly used for this. So it is to be noteworthy that slow wave structure is considered here. The reason is to maintain continuous interaction between the traveling wave and electron beam. Why we need the slow wave structure? Several different forms of slow wave structures are commonly used in TWT, like single helix, folded or double helix, ring bar or coupled resonant cavity. And the helix form of slow wave structure used is a conductor wound into a helical shape. So in most cases, the slow wave helix is wound from a flat tungsten or molybdenum, but in few devices, hollow tubing is used. The latter design uses the hollow section of the tubing for cooling fluid. The pitch of the helix is scaled to reduce the RF wave velocity to the electron beam velocity. The Vp of the RF signal traveling along a slow wave helix is given by Vp is equal to Cp divided by square root of p squared plus pi d the whole square. Basically, the RF wave applied at the input of TWT propagates with the speed of light, while the propagating velocity of the electron beam inside the tube is comparatively smaller than the velocity of RF wave. So if we try to somehow accelerate the velocity of the electron beam, then it can be accelerated only to a fraction of velocity of light. So it is better to reduce the velocity of applied RF input in order to match the velocity of the electron beam. Therefore, a slow wave structure is used that causes the reduction in phase velocity of the RF wave inside the TWT. And the single helix slow wave structure is formed by wounding a wire of element like tungsten and molybdenum, as I said earlier. This is so because due to the helical shape of the structure, the wave travels a much larger distance than the distance traveled by the beam inside the tube. So in this way, the speed of wave propagation depends upon the number of turns of diameter or diameter of the turns. So more specifically, we can say that the change in pitch can vary the speed of the wave propagation inside the tube. So here in this velocity equation, where c is the velocity of light, vp is the phase velocity, and p is the pitch, and d is the diameter. Therefore, this causes the continuous interaction between the RF input wave and the electron beam, as the velocity of propagation of the two is not highly different. As such, interaction is the basis of working of TWT, and thus the slow wave structures are used. Now let us see how the traveling wave tube works. The applied RF signal produces an electric field inside the tube. Due to the applied positive half cycle, the moving electron beam experiences accelerative force. However, the negative half cycle of the input applies a de-accelerative force on the moving electrons. This is said to be velocity modulation because the electrons of the beam are experiencing a different velocity inside the tube. However, the slowly traveling wave inside the tube exhibits continuous interaction with the electron beam. Due to the continuous interaction, the electrons moving with a high velocity transfer their energy to the wave inside the tube and thus slows down. So with the rise in the amplitude of the wave, the velocity of electrons reduces, and this causes bunching of electrons inside the tube. The growing amplitude of the wave resultantly causes more bunching of electrons while reaching the end from the beginning, thus causing further amplification of the RF wave inside the tube. More specifically, we can say that forward progression of the field along the axis of the tube give rise to amplification of the RF wave. Thus, at the end of the tube, the unamplified signal is achieved. The positive potential provided at the other end causes collection of the electron bunch at the collector, and the magnetic field inside the tube restricts the spreading of the beam as the electrons possesses repulsive nature. However, as the TWT is a bidirectional device, therefore the reflected signal causes oscillations inside the tube. But the presence of attenuators reduces the generation of oscillations due to reflected back wave. Sometimes, despite using attenuators, internal impedance terminals are used that puts less lossy effects on the forward signal. And the helix traveling wave tube will consist of electron gun and a slow wave structure. The helix is made positive with respect to the cathode or collector and more so. Thus, the beam is attracted to the collector and acquires high velocity. The speed with which the electric field advances axially is equal to the velocity of light multiplied by the ratio of the helix circumference. So, electrons leaving the cathode at random quickly encounter the weak axial RF field at the input end of the helix, which is due to the input signal. Okay, and as electrons passes across the gap, the velocity modulation and bunching takes place. When the electrons enter the helix tube, an interaction takes place between the moving axial electric field and the moving electrons, and the electrons transfer their energy to the wave on the helix. So this interaction causes the signal wave on the helix to become larger. And the electrons entering the helix at zero field are not affected by the signal wave. Those electrons entering the helix at the accelerating field are accelerated, and those at the retarding field are decelerated. So as the electrons travel further along the helix, the bunching process continues, and the bunching shifts the phase by pi by 2. Each electron in the bunch encounters a stronger, also the micro energy of the electrons is delivered by the electron bunch to the wave on the helix, and the RF wave on the helix grows exponentially and also reaches the maximum at the output end. So thus amplification of RF wave is accomplished in traveling wave tube. We can also produce oscillations in TWT. The slow wave direction structure is bidirectional, so signals can propagate in both directions. When a signal is reflected from the output coupler, it propagates backward along the slow wave structure to become a feedback signal capable of causing oscillations. Some pulsed TWTs exhibit this problem by brief oscillation burst at turn on or turn off, but do not oscillate during on time. So this type of oscillation is called rabbit ears, and because of its appearance on an oscilloscope, because on the display of the pulse. So oscillations due to reflected backwave phenomena can be reduced by inserting the attenuator in the middle third region of the slow wave structure. Another alternative which is less lossy is to forward wave signal is the use of internal impedance terminations called servers. And in most cases, one server is used for each 15 to 20 dB of TWT gain. And usually the gain of the traveling wave tube is proportional to the length of the slow wave structure, and as found by gain is equal to 47.3 FL divided by 2 pi V0 into cube root of IK divided by 4, where F is the RF frequency and V0 is the electron velocity and K is the helix impedance and V is the applied DC voltage and I is the DC current. The RF power output doesn't increase proportionally with the increase in RF input power. It starts diminishing after achieving maximum output or saturation point as gain also diminishes. And we can see that output power and gain characteristics. First, the input power increases with the output power will also increases up to the saturation point, after which it will start decreasing. And the main applications of TWTs are they are highly used in continuous wave radar systems and in amplifying tubes, and also they are used in to get high power output in satellite transponders. Thank you.